Friday Night Tights! You're about to get frostbitten!
Get him!
Fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy
ride.
All you geeks and gamers better stop jerking off to me, okay? I smell like burnt hair and Julie. That isn't stopping you. I caught you like you're retarded because I think you're all retarded. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. Frostbitten.
Go,
Now press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten.
Go, Frost!
Friday Night Tights.
Get him!
Frostbitten.
Go,
Now press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'll wait.
Weird!
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I'm not qualified. Go ahead, make my day.
Get him!
Call me Beaver Barbie.
Bitch, you're that goddamn ugly.
I jerked off to the dislike ratio.
I'm not hot to you.
No.
What in the heck did I just walk into?
Wow. People keep confusing me for prepubescent Justin Bieber. Someone in the chat called me Eminem mid-transition. Frostbitten.
Go,
Now
Frost!
press F if you're not jerking off. Frostbitten.
Go, Frost!
Friday Night Tights.
Get him!
Frostbitten.
Go,
Now
Frost!
press F if you're not jerking off. I see the chat. I see you in the chat. Hit an F right now. Jerking off to your girl. I'm standing up for all the women at G4. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Pockets, Scissors, Tape Dispenser, and Filing Cabinet. X-Ray girl, she is a beautiful young Oriental. X-Ray girl,
Give me cock. Ask them the price of cock.
X-ray girl, it's this for you to stroke your chopstick to. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Peace. Right now.
There are many ways to kill an orc. But for you, I will keep it strong and simple. Stab, twist, gut. Come at me.
All I know is that dyke can play.
House of the Dragon, episode 4. Christian Wolf for $2. Here's Charlie Cox's new comment. Oh, hear Charlie Cox's new comment on Daredevil. Yeah, it's I love Charlie Cox. I think he's a great Daredevil. But this is not going to be a great Daredevil for Marvel. Marvel has stopped being able to produce anything that's quality without help from frickin' Sony. And yeah, in 2 years, I guess we'll find out about Deadpool. But yeah, they're just going to ruin Daredevil. It's not going to be nowhere near the quality of season 1 and 2 of the Netflix show, which is the best thing Marvel's ever done. Skyrim 96 for $5. The Skyrim live action trailer from 2011 is better than the Rings of Power. I agree. John Kennedy for $5. Would you guys give a better rating to Rings of Power if the showrunners from Amazon admit the show existing in the Sharknado universe? Yes, but not much. Been loving Shad on Nerdrotic. Where are we getting a Gary cameo in Night's Watch? Ask Hot Dice for $4.99. As soon as he asks, I'll go. John Q. Ghost, thank you for the $20. Thank you. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Can you explain the unreliable narrator and how it will show up in the series? Well, I was originally going to say it wasn't because that's what Ryan Condell said, but there's a couple of scenes with Kristen Cole attacking Sir Joffrey Longmouth, the Knight of Kisses, and then Daemon killing or not killing his wife, the Bronze Bitch. It is up to interpretation. There's plausible deniability. We'll just say that. We didn't see anything different. So that's how it's showing up. I hope they don't do it. Like being cute once in a while is fine, but don't make a habit of it. Daniel Hartman for $2. Don't forget Rhaenyra was seen by the strong sun. Yes. And well, we know what happens. Abstract Jewel for $1.99. She is a Galadriel. Nor 777 for $10. All of you should find a reason to get Wendigoon on each of your channels. He's an awesome guy and actually a good critic when he makes a review of something like his No Country for Old Men video. Oh, there you go. Good to know. Skyrim 96 for $20. House Targaryen sends their dragons to attack a traveler wearing an iron goat horn helm. Form the skies. A song starts to play. Devonklin, nor or their dragon return. House Targaryen surprise Pikachu face. Their dragons got Dorne fucked with their dragons, and I forgot the other name of the house, but it's got a house. Other than that, I have no idea what that reference is from, but thank you for the $20. Taters Vivo for $5. We need a Harfoot to say, let the past die. Well, we had Elendil say something like that in episode 3 or 4 of Rings of Shit. Matt Sherman for $5. Otto doesn't look like he knows how to the game is played. He learns. Love the reviews. The gaming industry is also getting smacked with the woke agenda. Lazy writers and lazy programmers. Rest in peace, Halo Infinite, says Cryo for $5. Yes, indeed it is. Disco Dave, 1337 for $10. Haven't read the books, but is Lionel Strong a Littlefinger type character? Yes. No, not Lionel, Laris. Or is he just a logical and sensible dude as he is shown to be the council so far? Yes. So therefore, he gonna die. Not applicable for $2. Is M was as M was to is was as it was is. Yes, I totally don't agree. Maybe. It is what it is. Slavic Stritz for $2. You guys seen the Babylon Bee skits about the Rings of Power? Yes, they're brilliant. Cash Kester for $10. Haven't started House of the Dragon due to the sour taste from Game of Thrones Season 8. Don't blame you. However, hearing your genuine excitement and enjoyment is starting to sway me. Thanks to all for what you do for the true fans. Hail, you got it. It is our honor and privilege. 50 Shades of Beige for $5. Friday Night Tights can be hectic and overwhelming. These recaps are nice. Change of pace. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I know it can be sometimes, but what you gonna do? That's what the show has turned into. Yeah. Otto is slowly poisoning the king, says Eric Powell for $10. No. Is somebody else? Maybe. Or is he just sick? Maybe. CGT for $1.99. Thank you for the donation. Loknav Likov for 10 rons says, get Rackets to teach Shad to shill his book more. Yeah, the guy, we got to talk to the Griff King about that. Liquor Snurf for $50. Hail, you guys are awesome. I don't watch House of the Dragon and haven't watched Game of Thrones because of what I heard about 7 and 8. Smart. But I'll always love watching your takes. Cheers. Keep up the great work. You too, Liquor Snurf. Thank you for the $50. Sorry, I missed that one. Trent Johnson for $4.99. Rhaenyra wanted Daemon Dragon Balls across her face. Yes, I think she does. The Grizzly for $5. Shows and movies are legacy entertainment. All hail the new Iron Age of entertainment. All hail Razor Fist. Hail Razor Fist. Bear Business 1 for $20. Shad, does that mean for Rings of Power you will be holding the weapon from Batman or nunchucks? Probably. That wraps it up for House of the Dragon. Rings of Power, Episode 4, Radagains for $3.01. One thing you must understand, they can destroy Star Trek, they can destroy Star Wars, but they can't destroy Tolkien, because with the exception of Tolkien himself rising from the grave, everything written by anyone else is pure fan fiction. True. Neil Fish for £5 Mate, who's the guest on FNT tonight? You were asking last week. So it was Mahler, but you already know that. But I can tell you it's going to be Critical Drinker this week. John Q. Ghost, thank you for the $10. Sir, I salute you. Like Wilfred Mott. Avelio Grebenarov. I really fucked that up. I'm sorry. For 5 Belgian pesos. The bright side of Rings of Power is that we'll get 1 billion worth of memes. This is true. Congrats, Bezos, you magnificent meme lord. Hail from Bulgarian pesos. Hell yeah. Flag Ninja for $5. Any chance of getting the what the hell is even that guy as an emote? He he seems like he would apply so much to the media now. I will let X-Ray Girl know, and we'll get that taken care of. Hang on. We can even get the sound effect right now.
What the hell is even that?
You ask, you shall receive. X-Con. Like con! Kind of. $4.99. There's a worse woke remake series on Amazon. A League of Their Own. 1940s lesbian racism. Strong black woman. And the star looks like She-Hulk. And nobody watched it. Sentinel Rex for $5. But yeah, you know what? I've never seen A League of Their Own. I didn't see the original. I'm pretty sure I was locked up. I missed a lot of movies when I was locked up, and I just never went back to watch many of them. I think the ones like all the Batman movies I missed, I went back and watched. We should make Sauron memes and turn him into a good guy like we did when we gave Jordan Peterson quotes to Red Skull. The SOP potential will be endless. That's a great idea, Sentinel Rex, for $5. That is a great idea. God, that was a good times. We're applying wisdom to the Red Skull. Bob Starsky for £5 proper buddy. Gary, you should play Bloodborne, an Eldritch horror game from the creator of Dark Souls. It's Eldritch horror done right. Okay. Christmas time is what I'm going to try to play video games. Just real quick. And this is absolutely no offense to anybody who plays video games. My sons play video games and they love them. And at times, like when I find the right game, I get completely addicted, but it's like once every 10 years, right? Ultimate Alliance, couldn't stop playing it. Diablo 1 and 2 and 3, could not stop playing it. Red Dead Redemption was fucking awesome. So I've played some games. I have. And I think I would like Witcher. But my worry is I would just play the game all the time and not do the channel. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I'd start playing video games and it would take away from a job that I like. I've only recently been able to like sit back and watch kind of like TV because I do cover, film and television. So right now I've almost finished my office, which is great. It'll be done by the end of the year. I just thinking this thing would be done in 4 months was just stupid. It was more like 8. But my screen's up and one has got Lord of the Rings right there and the other one's playing Doctor Who constantly, which is great. So I can just pop it on when I want. But yeah, for Christmas, we're going to do a Witcher 3 stream on YouTube though. I might stream it on Twitch, but fuck Twitch. McFish for $10. Thanks for defending the fans. Always. I will always defend the fans from, all offenders, from all offenders who disrespect the paying customer and it goes across the line. Yeah, you're going to get trolls. Yeah, people are going to say horrible shit. So what? The vast majority say positive stuff, or at least it's constructive criticism. And quite frankly, if we're about free speech, when we are, you let people talk, you just let them have their say, and that's fine. I don't really care. But yeah, there is no difference to me from any creator who goes after a fan is counterintuitive to what we're trying to do. It's just me. But you'll always hear the guys saying like, hey, if you like The Last Jedi, so what? Don't let me ruin your enjoyment of anything. I am just stating my opinion here. I am not saying you can't watch something. I will give recommendations on how to change things, but that is entirely up to you. I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. I don't give Disney Marvel money unless it's like I have to because I, do a show. But if I do, it's like a few bucks here and there per year. But I'm a guy, unintentionally, because I was a Marvel fan before I've never been a Disney fan. Didn't like that Disney bought Marvel, but I was buying comics for years, giving them tons of money and toys. Completely stopped. And I have other ways of seeing stuff. Even when I go to see the Marvel movies, I buy tickets to other movies and walk in. I just find a less crowded time where I can, I know it's terrible, but the theater is still getting money. But I'm not giving it directly to Disney. Like even for Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm not going to buy tickets to that movie. No way. But I will see it. The Grizzly for $5. Diablo Immortal is not Diablo 4. Two separate games. Diablo 4 looks like a direct successor to Diablo 2. Wow. And it's only on PC and consoles. When's it coming out? I kind of thought that okay. So I don't pay as much attention to Blizzard as I used to. And the last time I did was the infamous "Don't you have phones?" And I just kind of gave up hope that they were even working on it at that point. I'm like, they probably just went because the phone games are easier and they make more money. Well, if it happens, then I'm there. Abigor for $6.66. The first princess of the Noldor, played by Morfydd Clark, who we will lovingly call Guy Ladriel. I see what you did there. John Cagozo, my brother, for $2. Put up a poll on Twitter. You put up a poll on Twitter. I think you'll enjoy it. Oh, God, I'm seeing it late now. Sorry. Maybe we can do it again this week, John. Hey, John, if you're out there, if you're watching this, I'll be in San Diego before the end of the year because I got to check on my mom. Last time I went, obviously I couldn't check on my mom because I got effing COVID. I was actually relieved I'm like, because I had not gotten it. And when I got it, it was like, 3 days of, I just kind of slept and I was tired. But like I said before, I've been dope sick worse than that. Paul Turner for $10. Howdy, Gary. I know you're big on the HotD. Hey, now.
What the hell is even that?
Daddy, chill.
But do you find the anti-natalist, anti-family themes more or less obnoxious as Hollywood hacks using allegory in Tolkien? No, because it's kind of part of the story, but they really are leaning in. But ultimately, you see those moms, they love their sons. So it's not like they hate their sons. Like, get this fucking baby away from me. They show the brutality of childbirth in the Middle Ages, which was fucking brutal. It's brutal now. But they are leaning into it like we are just vessels to create heirs. But they also counter that with, you're a stuck-up bitch. You're a fucking princess. Your life is great in like a world where people live in muck. And like, this isn't a pretty fantasy world. It's a fucking horrible one. But my biggest concern about the show is its nihilism and its lack of a true hero. Like even Game of Thrones had a hero. His name was Jon Snow. Very traditional hero. Had to do some fucked up things, but let's put it this way. In that world, he's as close to a traditional hero as you will get. He was honorable. Like, even when he had to kill the half-hand's like, you have to kill me. I mean, that's fucking hardcore. But we got to remember that they knew the stakes. They had seen the White Walkers. That's cool shit. It's cool shit. A lot of people are down on Jon Snow in the books. I think he's great. I think in Winds of Winter, he starts making like all the mistakes his dad did, like doing the right thing, and he gets fucked for it. Homewards Bounded, crossing 3 countries by sea, by road, and I'll be back for Friday Night Tights. Who's the guest tonight? Pickle Rickle. You saw Mahler last week. You're going to see the Critical Drinker. Now, we're going to have Shad and Disparu coming in because, like, we have no Chrissy. We had some confusion last week because, like, I kind of thought Chrissy would be out all month, but she wasn't. But yeah, no Chrissy on Friday. So Shad's coming in with, and Disparu is. I asked Disparu to come on like for the entirety of Rings of Power because I think he's a good kid. I think he's got great takes, and he's fucking fantastic. Like his presence, like he gets it. He fits in with the guys, which isn't. It's not an easy thing to do. Like, I feel bad sometimes for our guests, but the guys do a really good job, and I try to do my best of like making them feel comfortable because a bunch, it's big, it's crazy, but that's part of the fun, It's part of the fun. But we got Critical Drinker coming in. Fucking the madman. You hear they're going to remake The Never-Ending Story. Ugh. Think they'll mess it up? Christopher Miller for $5? Yes. Yes. Big Chris for $2. How dare you, sir, make fun of everything? Hey, it's just roasting Hollywood, okay? We're not getting into politics or anything deep. We're roasting Hollywood, and that upsets so many people. You should see my Twitter timeline right now because Perry made this genius thumbnail that I just knew would fucking trick because it's got Brie as She-Hulk with her like psycho face. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So they're going nuts, man. They are going nuts. People get so upset. And that's the point. That's the whole point. George Kessler for $5. Hail, Gary. I think a good story would be of Elendil's father, Amandil, and what he set out to do. Tell the audience about him for those who don't know. Amandil set out to make peace with the Valar. And he sailed west, and you couldn't sail west. There was a ban on sailing west, but he was trying to head off what was going on in Numenor, and he never came back. Now, I always believe, because he was faithful, that they just kept him there. He didn't die. He was just never seen again. That's what happened to Amandil. A very brief description of what happened to Amandil. But, yeah, so Numenor was split between the faithful and the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen were jealous of the elves. You guys know this part of the story, right? The elves' immortality. And eventually Ar-Pharazôn, under the tutelage of Sauron, goes and invades the Blessed Lands. And the minute he sets foot, the Valar is like, we can't fight them. We swore off violence. So, Daddy Eru Iluvatar, could you do something about this? And he's all, sure, I'll just sink their fucking island. And that's what he did. Sorry to change the subject. Feel free to answer later. With how bad Rings of Power has been, how concerned are you with the Disney Plus show or the inheritance cycle? Which Disney Plus show? I'm concerned with every Disney Plus show. I'm concerned with, like, Deadpool Wolverine was announced, which is a home run, with Hugh Jackman coming back one more time. But in my video today, I equated it to the Rolling Stones going on tour one time and expecting one more time and expecting that to save the entire music industry. It's great if you're a Rolling Stones fan. They're fucking older than dirt, but it was like 10 years ago. They were the number one draw for a band, like when they were 50 fucking years old, as a band. That's bad. That is horrifically bad for your industry, right? So when the core MCU needs Fox X-Men I was looking for keys to jangle, but I left them downstairs. To jangle the keys, that's bad. This movie will probably be like No Way Home. It'll make $1 billion. It'll be fun. Maybe, unless it's PG-13, then all bets are off, and it's not being directed by the guy who even directed Deadpool 2, which I don't think was anywhere near as good. I liked it, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as Deadpool 1, which was fucking fantastic. Yeah, that's like, we still got Captain Black American Falcon. We also have Captain Marvel. We have, and the Marvels. I have no idea who the Avengers are. We have Doctor Strange, Thor. No Spider-Man. No Spider-Man. There is no Spider-Man deal. We don't even know when Tom Holland's next movie is. I don't know what the hell Sony's doing. But as it stands right now, there is no Spider-Man announcement. Shit, that movie got re-released in September. I watched it, the extended version. It was good. It was really good. But as I said last night, 2 years ago, when I saw the pandemic hitting and people were going to shut things down, it's just as clear as day. It's like you got to hit home runs as close to sure things as humanly possible. You know, something like if you're going to bring back the Ghostbusters, you bring back the real Ghostbusters. If Tobey Maguire is willing to do another Spider-Man movie, you get Tobey Maguire. And you know what? Then they got Andrew Garfield and like completely total redemption for that guy. Total redemption. He was great. To the point where I would watch a solo movie with him as Spider-Man. Absolutely. Just not written by Alex Kurtzman. So yeah, you bring him back. And yes, eventually you recast Captain America. That looks like Steve Rogers, the Steve Rogers Captain America. You recast Iron Man. That looks like the comic book Tony Stark. You do things like make Namor look like Namor, make him an Atlantean, not, a culture in South America. Then create or use Quetzalcoatl. He's an actual hero in the Marvel Universe. Stuff like that. Hey, Gary. Hey, Benjamin Wood. Thank you for the $2.99 Australian. Sorry, I read that one. We all know Girl Sildur is going to Numenor University because it's a party school where she'll get a Mrs. degree and in the guise of getting a PhD. Yeah, kind of like now, Sentinel Rex for $5. I completely agree. Sent you a meme on Twitter DM. Hope you like it. Glee Man, I will check it out. I will check it out and let you know right after this because we are done with Rings of Power episode 4. Okay. Slain Hope for $1. I have a feeling that Dono didn't go to the live show. Shad would know the quote. It's from the Wheel of Time. Didn't want to come off as a serial killer. Sorry about that. You didn't. Don't worry about it. I mean, other than your name being Slain. No. Slain Hope for $10. Flesh so fine to tear. The gnash the skin to strip to plate. So nice to plate the strips. So nice, so red the drops that fall. Blood so red, so sweet. Sweet screams, pretty screams, singing screams. Screams your song, sing your screams. So he was referring to that. Whoa, cool. Shadow Knight for $10. Mahler, thanks for your entertaining Doctor Strange video. I made an edit of every single Ben come you said. Yeah, and I've got to see that video. And he thanks you. Mahler does thank you, and he knows about it. Cyber Bilge for 10 British pounds, proper money. Okay, Rings of Power is terrible, but I love Jupiter Ascending and Gods of Egypt, so I'm all in until the end. I love film and television production videos, and bad content is always more interesting. I get you there. Yeah, I watched a lot of shit. But like normal bad, I would argue is good. Like Clash of the Titans, the Harryhausen film from the 80s. Some might not consider it good. I fucking love it. I'd watch it tonight. Gojo for $1.99. Is Cannibal or supposed to be bigger? Oh, is Cannibal supposed to be bigger than Balerion the Black Dread? No, Cannibal is not bigger than Vagar. It's big though. It's like the third or fourth biggest one. Maybe the third. There is a chart. Let's look at some charts. No, I'm not going to look at some charts. Oh, by the way, I forgot to do something. Gleeman, I looked for your meme. Did you DM me on Twitter? Because if it was Instagram, then my wife saw it. So let me know if you can. You can email it to me, too, at gary@nerdrotic.com, and she'll let me know. Revenge of the Sixth for $2.79 says, of course you can't finish. Oh, yeah. Sucks when you can't finish. The Grizzly for $10. The Horus Heresy, which is the prequel game to Warhammer 40K, is rendered to 30K because it takes place in the 32nd millennium before Horus falls to the dark gods and splits the Imperium apart. Don't get me into that, man. I'm into enough stuff. I can't go down the crack that is known as, and I mean like not the ass crack, I mean like the cocaine crack that is 40K. I just can't. Does it look like I have room in this office for 1,000 hand-painted 40K figures? No, I don't. Don't do this to me. JB for $5. Wheel of Time, Rings of Power, Season 8 of Game of Thrones. If you have to watch one and can't make any content from it, what are you going with? And can't make any content from it. I'd probably at least like give Wheel of Time a go because a lot of my friends hate it. So, and I'm going to give the books a go next year. Kenny Justice for $5. Alucard from Helsing is the best vampire game with Blade, LOL. Screw Twilight Vamps. Absolutely. Also, Gary, is it okay to ask you a question on Twitter? Something for Az. Yeah, of course. You can ask me whatever. Yeah, I mean, you can ask Az directly, but if you want to ask me, that's fine. Just make sure, because the way the DMs are set up, I got to be following people to get them. And then I'm sorry, but I don't remember to go to the other thing where you click where the people are DMing you that I don't follow. So, yeah, maybe hit me up on Twitter, at me a couple times. I might see it. I mean, it's first world problems, and I'm grateful to have them. But there's a lot. There's a lot that I try to get through as much as I can. So thank you, Kenny. Or email me. Email me at GaryNerdrotic.com, because that way one of us is going to see it. I got 3 people monitoring my email, so which includes me. Cedre for $5. I don't think Rhaenyra was portrayed as totally bad. Seems like she cares about her responsibility to the prophecy her father told her about. She does, but she's been really irresponsible. Okay. I mean, and that's the part they need to point out in this show. They need to point that out. She screwed Harwin Strong and had his kids. And if she was so serious about the fucking realm, she wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have done that. Now, maybe she felt like she needed to produce heirs, and there might have been a question enough with Laenor, except for the hair color, right? But they haven't really covered that yet, and that's something they need to cover. The series is not perfect. It's not perfect. There was a couple of questionable scenes in the last episode, for sure. For sure. Robert McDonald for $10. Wyverns are dragons inbred redneck cousins. Picture the fiddle-playing simp on the bridge in Deliverance versus Burt Reynolds. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to start the dragon versus wyvern. A Song of Ice and Fire dragons were wyverns. George told me so. It says Blacklist Universe for $2. Yeah, I see them as dragons. They breathe fire. Some have 4 legs, some have 2. I'm okay with either, to be honest with you. I like dragons. I don't have a preference that. I like dragons are cool, but they're not my favorite fantasy element. I personally like the weirder creatures like wargs and giants, stuff like that. Gojo for $1.99 I read that one already. I think that one got put in there twice, or you accidentally super chat twice. So I'll read it again. Is Cannibal supposed to be bigger than Balerion? No. If you run the Daemon killing his wife scene, you can see the POV is him flying in on the dragon, then comes out the other side of the rock. She looks for it. Yeah. You can see that Old Man Rising for $5. This is they trust you to have your own brain. When she looks for the dragon, and then he looks up to freak her out. So he created his own happy accident. I mean, I think he was going to kill her. He was going to kill her anyway. Jim, 22,150 for $5. Are the R.R. Martin books the reliable narrator, or is the show? The show is. The show is. And in A Song of Ice and Fire, you have you are seeing things from perspective. So you are in like Tyrion's brain, and you're seeing things from his perspective. But then they'll do like the Battle of Meereen that's setting up. You see it through Barristan. You see it through Tyrion. And why am I blanking on his name now? He died. The prince. The frog. Martell. I'm forgetting his name. God dang it. Yeah, brain fart. But you see it through his perspective too. Sir Maris for $9.99. Gary, do you think they're going to show Grover Tully or his son Elmo Tully or his grandson Kermit? I read this one. I hate Martin's naming in this book. It's so lazy. Yeah, he was fucking around. Charlie for $10. Hey, y'all. Shad, you think you are espousing Sanderson's writing excuses? You, Ripa, and Razor have... Thank you for espousing Sanderson's writing excuses. You, Ripa, and Razor have inspired me to pursue writing, and I finally found my calling. Godspeed, sir. You've changed my life. Wow. I'm going to pass that on. I'm going to copy and paste that and pass it on to Shad. I'm sure he would love to read it, and I'll tell... I just spoke with Razor Fist. I shot him a DM. We're trying to get him back on FNT. So I am, just to let you know, sending Shad that right now. From a super chat. Oh, I got to get your name. Sorry. Charlie. We're going to say Charlie. I'm sure he would love to see that. So boom, there, it's sent. He saw it. Robert McDonald for $10. A question for Shad. Have you ever watched Mr. Inbetween, and do you have an opinion of the series? I will try to remember to ask him on Sunday. Mr. Inbetween. I've heard of that. What do y'all think of The Last Duel? Not much. Caleb Dixon for $1.99. Didn't like it. Spartacus. Lawrence Olivier asks Tony Curtis, is he like snails or oysters? Yeah, Robert McDonald. Spartacus. Yeah, for $10. It was a racy movie for back then. I am a fan of the television series. Thought it was fantastic. What if Miles Morales was Joseph Stalin? Says Joseph Fazio for $1.99. I should put that on Twitter. I really should. Noob Jets for $20. Since I watch your reviews instead of getting an Amazon Prime, you guys are more entertaining. Should have gave you guys the 250 milli. Wow. That's a lot of money. Far more than I need. But I can think of a few people that they should have given that to and made something good, because something good can bring people together. I don't want to say that Rings of Power is an amazing. I do want to say that Rings of Power is an amazing composer for their soundtrack. Bear McCreary is incredible, and immediately fell in love with this stuff after hearing what he did on Outlander, just magical. Francis E. Rowan Hastings for $10. I don't think he fits for Rings of Power. I just don't. What I heard of his Outlander stuff was good. He was fucking brilliant on Battlestar Galactica. But then he went out and called fans racist, so he's a fucking idiot. Please have the group next week. You four are great. Critic 19 Adam for $2. Thank you. We'll have Jane back. I promise we'll have Jane back. We're going to have Fringy next week. And then Ryan and Jane will be coming in for the last 2 episodes. Ryan Kinnell. DRTB dirt bike, but it's missing all the vowels. For $19.99. Hail, the authenticity and the details in this show are incredible. This is so small, but the walls behind the scones were stained black from the candlelight. No way you'd see that level of obscure detail in the Femmes of Power. Absolutely correct. Yeah, that's that. I mean, and it's that little stuff that your unconscious mind. Oh my God, I'm watching Doctor Who. This is the one. It's got Gendry and the guy, I can't remember his name, who was the star of Excalibur in it. Where the Doctor has a daughter, but it's David Tennant's wife. Good action figures came out of that one. Sorry, just got distracted. The Happy Camper for $5. Just finished up the extended cut of Lord of the Rings. Extended, ladies. The trilogy. I may be but a humble welder who builds the warships of man, but the fellowship has my torch. Dude, you do that? You're a welder. Are you an underwater welder? That is not humble. That is fucking badass. A welder is a badass. That's a badass job. Make lots of money too. More people should learn how to do that. That's a skill. Robert McDonald for $20. I haven't heard a single person use these words with the series versus Rings of Power so far. Mary Sue, Karen, boring, disjointed. I've heard boring, but like not disjointed, not sloppy, not slow. A little bit of slow in the beginning, but not now. Preachy or woke. I had to go back and rewatch half because I fell asleep halfway through. No, you have not seen that either, and I agree. Andrew Valdez for $4.99. I'm just imagining the Winds of Winter coming out and it's really bad and that Gary destroys the entire world. LOL. It could be bad. It could be bad. The Field for $5. I haven't had any interest in Game of Thrones since season 5, but the lineup of nerds is super fun to listen to. I'll catch the rest on VOD. Huzzah for nerddom. Oh, thank you, The Field. I appreciate that. We have tons of fun doing this. Will M. for $10. I walked away for a second, but did you cover my last super chat by any chance about the night selling them both out? Apologies for jumping in. Will, I think these are backwards, so I will look and see. We must have read it. Oh, I think we read it already. I think we read it on the show. Robert McDonald for $50. How did I miss that? God dang it. If Jeff Lex Luthor Bezos knew that 6,000 fans are watching a live stream at 12:30 a.m. Eastern time of a recap of the next Game of Thrones franchise, he might end up going even balder. Sorry, Bezos. Your $1 billion Game of Thrones ripoff just got trumped by a Game of Thrones precursor. Big words there. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's getting pounded. Pounded. Blacklist Universe for $20. Oh, what's up, Smiller? Mike S. Miller. I totally want to watch this live, but I haven't been able to see the show yet. This is a great team of awesome YouTubers. Thanks, buddy. Douglas A. Burton for $4.99. Just the seafaring ships between Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. One shows ships look functional and the others are just for show. Yeah. Oh, dude, the ships, they look good in Rings of Power. They look good. Caleb Dixon for $4.99. Why doesn't Cole ask to be sent to the wall? Wasn't that the common punishment for oath breaking then? Seems like trying to not to link to Game of Thrones too much. Well, he doesn't in the wall. I mean, this is where he ends up in the book. He's got a nickname. You're about to find out what it is very soon. The showrunners on the after show were like, the Greens significant was spoon-fed to you, but we thought it was really subtle. Really makes me worry about the future of the show. Yeah, I caught that part too. Insensitive. He's like, yeah, we spoon-fed it, but we felt it was subtle. I'm like, you just contradicted yourself in a sentence. Sapoknik is gone. He's already left the show. Tricky for $5. Did anybody else find the timing of Damon and Allison's entry was odd? First Damon enters, shortly after Allison. That was coinky-dink. That's all it was. Andrew McCarthy for $4.99. Also, happy Batman Day. My girlfriend sends me a picture of Wonder Woman kissing Batman from that JLA show. Yeah, DC should follow Tim-verse example. I completely and totally agree. Did we say just goodbye tonight to Millie and Emily, young Renera and Allison? Yeah, we did, and they were great. They were great. We're going to see if they're the actresses who take over can do the same good job. Bishop Cruz for $10. Love how the show doesn't glorify anyone. Renera is utterly selfish. Allison is a hypocrite, angry at R for hiding things when she seduced Viserys for weeks and never even mentioned their talks. Yep. Jay Coke for $4.99. Hey, all unrelated to Game of Thrones. Primal finale was kind of disappointing. So much buildup for such an unsatisfying ending. Am I wrong? Haven't seen it yet, but I've heard a lot of people say that. If this was Game of Thrones season 8, they would have cut away at the start all of these awkward conversations and resolve them off screen. I agree. Reaps for $5 Australian dollars. Gensei Kuroki for 2 Canadian pesos. Sir Kristen Cole, the jilted boy toy. Yep. Hey, Gary, I sent a super chat. Could you read it? Yes. Justin Johnson for $1.99. Andrew McCarthy for $4.99. Let's say that George finishes his books. Sure. Let's say I get an 18-karat gold toilet. Why not? It was satisfying, epic, and blew your expectations away. Would it be better than Lord of the Rings? No. No. I come from the old school where I don't believe a derivative could ever be superior to its predecessor. Will I like it a lot? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. But I know the book is going to end very similarly to the show. I think Jon will get banished to the north. I think Daenerys will die. I think that Asha will be the queen of, or be the lord of the Lady of the Iron Islands, and I think Sansa will be the queen of not just the north, of maybe the Vale, and maybe the river. Like it'll be split again. But the Starks will be in charge, so ultimately, and I think Bran will be king. But I mean, like, as much as I criticize the show for having Bran skip a season, he only has like 3 or 4 chapters in A Wind's a Winter, and he's not mentioned at all in A Feast for Crows. So if you're going to make him the king, that's a huge mistake. Sweet. I love watching these recaps. Bring back great memories from your show back in the day. Classy Radio. Thank you, Classy Radio. I appreciate it. Infinite Maine for $5. It must be implied the dragon is around. The horse was spooked the whole scene. Yeah, or it just smelled the dragon on Damon. That's what I think. The actress playing the queen is great. She's easily the most beautiful woman on the show, especially in the green dress in tonight's episode. It's too bad she won't be in the whole series. Ronan 04 for $10. Yep. Dakota Stanton for $20. What's up, Dakota? Both murder scenes didn't do it for me. How is Cole allowed to walk away? And how in the hell is Allison allowed to talk to him alone? Yeah, that's how I think the biggest thing is, how was he able to get away with punching Laenor? Monsieur Price for $7. Rings of Power episode 5, by the way. Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. instead. No, I watched the first 2 seasons, thought they were fine. Everything was shit after that. Gorbs for £5 Rings of Power almost makes you wish for Middle Earth to be covered in a second darkness. Just spare us, Karen Deal. Exactly. Monsieur Price for $2. Good night. God bless. To you too as well. Matthew N for $5. I love the way they've created Hobodolph and completely ignored the part where he arrived on a ship and was given the ring Narya by Círdan. Yeah, where's Círdan? Where is Círdan the shipwright? Probably be played by Leslie Jones. Moto Designs for 35 Zardozes. So Ring of Empowerment. By the way, that's a great name. But the tropes are there. Don Lemonless is a dad who bailed on his kid, and the queen is from a single parent household too. Yeah, that's totally racist. That's racist. Even pirated this show would be a ripoff. Even pirating the show would be a ripoff, says Dirty Saiyan for $2. Bilbo Teabaggins for £2 British. Morbid Clark scares the life out of me. Yeah. King Magnus for $5 Australian. A very gynocentric show. I'm excited for the new Fellowship of the Ring where Aragorn is a woman and Arwen is played by Steven Tyler. Monsieur Price for $7. Let's put a smile on that face. Amazon, right. Smilex. Apple Mania Gaming, okay, for 15 Austrian dollars or Austrian pesos. I was recently rereading The Fellowship. They mentioned in the first chapter that Harfoots were most likely to settle in one place and had friendships with dwarves. It also mentions, and you're right, you're absolutely correct. It also mentions that they're a breed of hobbit. Emery Callum for $10 says Galadriel hid her armor in her prison wallet while she, let's see. Prison wallet. And on the raft. I haven't heard that saying in a long time. Her keister. She keistered it. Matthew N for $10 Australian. It's been a delight watching you lads and the rest of the crew ride Rings of Prime into the ground. Really enjoyed Shad and Disbrews being on the show. Keep on telling it like it is. They'll be back. They'll be back. Great guys. Amazon 2-day shipping got it back to her. Hashtag cross marketing. There's some good memes about that, Andrew. Thank you for the $5. I'm Friendly88 for 20 Austrian dollars. Forget the aneurysm. Poor Shad will be dead. And could Alindo get the real BBC on the antenna extension? Maybe. He probably could. Human Kirk for £2 or euros. Sorry, Gary and Az, definitely more than just friendship. Gay. Alfred. Hang on. Wait, I gotta give myself that one. Don isn't father. He is a groomer. Says Alfred Kabadite for $2. I probably screwed that up. Gaydar is obvious distraction from obvious not Sauron. Wolf Vermilion for £2 proper money. Yes. Monsignor Price for $2. Counting is subjective. Everything's subjective. Wanda Jacksimov for $2. Your channel is under attack. Hail Nerdrotic as it is. Austin Burchett for $1. Thank you for the donation. Andrew Montpetit for $2. The Tree of Gonda Mithra. Yeah, I know, right? Ryan 111 for $4.99. Last time I checked, Durin's Bane doesn't enter the story till 1980 of the Third Age. You are correct. Monsignor Price for $5. Cooney, you picked the mystery box. Let's see what's in the box. What's in the box? Hans Mercer for $5. Calling Halbrand all brand now because he is rich in fibers, if you get my meaning. Yes. Flag Ninja for $5. Rings of Power is what happens when bad reboot cancer metastasizes. You are so correct. Phil and Selmo for $5. No way they spent all that money on this travesty. In the biz, we call that getting Jeff Embezoed. I just think it's laundering. Paul Turner for $5. Howdy, boys. Do you think that all this girl barbarian Galadriel stuff is going to give women the mistaken idea that they can physically challenge men? Dumb ones. We already saw that, like with the Summer of Love. The Summer of Love. Saw some girls thought they can go up to some guys and they got just fucking jacked up. But no. We don't want to hit ladies. We don't want ladies being in that situation. I mean, like some can brawl, you know, and they will when they have to. But no, it's about subverting gender norms. It's about there being no difference between men and women when there's massive differences because only women can give birth. Only a woman can have a baby. A man cannot have a baby. Chester for $7.99. That's like something that could almost get you in trouble on YouTube. We are at 2 + 2 = 5. Only women could give birth to babies. Thank you, Chester. Why didn't they use a stunt double? Is there a good reason, or was it because they wanted to have the actress do it herself for PR reasons? I think they did. And the stunt double sucked too. Flag Ninja for $5. At least Kurtzman Trek didn't burn as much money as this trash. No, but they tried. Don't Flag Ninja, you're right. But the first season of Star Trek Discovery, it was $10 million an episode. Where that went. And maybe Kurtzman's got a mean coke habit. I can at least respect that. Taking Back Toxic for $5. Guy Athriel Dane, Sword of the Morning, Amazon executives. That's right. You're mixing your with Arthur Dane. Stunning a Brave, 5 stars, says Daniel J. Lanoux for $2. I know Dung Fu, says Guy Ladriel, the Gourd King. Andrew Montpetit for $5. She's the scourge of the orcs. Did they just line up and wait for her to slaughter them? Yes. N. Broadsword for $5. Guy Ladriel is actually a Bene Gesserit from Frank Herbert's Dune. That's how she is moving so quick. Well, that would make sense. She can move quick. She can fight. But Numenorians aren't dumb teenagers. They live hundreds of years and they're big. Whoa, is her sword the Goblin Cleaver? Says Caleb Dixon for $2. Probably. The silence just now was more interesting and dramatic than the entire show. Andrew Montpetit for $5. Thank you. Caleb Dixon for $5. Why does he look like crap? He looks like he just got off the raft. Dude is supposed to seduce everyone. Yeah. Well, everybody kind of looks dirty. Halbrand, I'm sorry. Says Taker 610 for $2. Not One Nowhere for $10. Guy Ladriel stole Stab and Twist from Travolta in Face Off. Duff McClintock for $4.99. You guys are making more on this show from Super Chats than Amazon and new subscribers. Well, thank you. More people watching the stream than the show, says Midnight Mike for $2. Maybe. Go, 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 go. Sophie B. Powerhouse for $10. Credit to Dan Bruckman in the chat for inventing Methrandir for definitely not Gandalf. That is a credit. Methrandir. Abigor. 666. Why couldn't Alec Baldwin be on this set? Oh, shit. Oh, no. That's not funny. Rest in peace to that poor cinematographer woman and her family. Hope they sue the fucking shit out of that piece of garbage. Oscar Ramos for $5. The entire episode, all I could think was, where's Sean Connery when you need him? I bet you could use a slap, some sense in Guy Ladriel. The Gourd King for $4.99. Rings of Power. Temptuous House of the Dragon. Incestuous, leave it to Amazon to make the former somehow more cringeworthy. Right. Hunter for $4.99. When Guy Ladriel patted the guy on the butt during the training scene, I cringed and LOL'd all at the same time. Shake my head. This episode was all over the place. It was. Jin Korea for $4.99. Thank you for the donation. Very kind of you. Riff Magos. What's up, Riff Magos? For $5 Australian dollars. Hail Gary and Az. The super chat is always right. And the sea is always right. Randy for Rose for 10 Canadian pesos. This show was so doomed to fail, Amazon didn't even have the rights to the Silmarillion. They're trying to make a story out of the appendices. Laugh my motherfucking ass off. For the Numenorians saying, just change out C with woman, and you have a guiding philosophy for the writing of She-Hulk, says Andrew Montpetit for $5. Yes. Yes, indeed. The woman is always right. Well, my wife will agree with that for sure. Warren Smith for $6.66. What's up, Warren? That's Australian dollars. That's a super chat of the beast. Did you see Rewriting Ripley has a new article attacking you and the Fellowship, saying your subs attack actors of color? I did, and we have yet to go over it. I completely forgot about it. Maybe we'll go over it on FNT, but I'll pick just a couple of paragraphs because that thing is written by retards. So, these are lonely women who will be lonely for the rest of their lives and wonder why. And we're at the point where you don't want to let this stuff bother you. And I've seen it take YouTubers down. I've seen it take content creators down, just regular folk. Not saying that YouTube and content, we're regular folk too, right? Just regular folk. I could see to take it down because nobody wants to deal with that shit now. And I understand that, man. We all have our different tolerances for it, and they are to be respected. But when they consistently go after you guys, that's where I'll go hard on them. I usually try to keep this to the company, to the producers in charge, and I will criticize their work and their talent level, but I'll try to keep it from being an absolute personal attack on, anything else. But when former Disney employees who are backed by Disney employees write articles to, libel and slander us because we don't like a movie, and they try to directly connect us to white supremacy, and the connectors that they use aren't even white supremacists. It's just Republicans. It's conservatives and Republicans. And what's happened is the pendulum, I won't even say a swing. It's got jacked up so much that people like me are agreeing with Republicans, and we're seeing the Republicans and the Conservative Party evolve into what I think they should always have been, like a quasi-libertarian thing. I'd like to see them be more libertarian, to be honest with you. But being anti-authoritarian, that's what I am. I am anti-authoritarian. Carrie Smith said this a long time ago. There is no more right and left. There is pro-authoritarian and anti-authoritarian. That's where we're at right now. And I am very anti. I've been that my entire life. It's a very easy place to be. It's like wearing black. Never goes out of style. And that's where you guys are too. And we all got there on our own journeys. I wasn't even a political animal. And I hope to not be again. I'd love to live in peace and live in a place where anybody could grow up to be anything as long as they work hard and don't expect it to just walk up to them, where you can raise your family in a nice, safe place. We can all live together in harmony. That's what I'd love. But that's bad for government business. Thank you, Warren. We will address Rewriting Ripley soon. Very, very soon. David Dahl for $4.99. I think we need Tommy Wiseau to take over as showrunner Rooms of Power. Oh, hi, Sauron. Flag Ninja for $2. So has Numenor transitioned into Womanor yet? Oh, that's a good one. Matt L for $2 Australian. The sea has not seen what I have seen. No, they haven't. Bo and Debbie Mulder for $5. So Mithril was created by a Balrog who melted a Cimmeril under a tree trunk? Really? Oh, and Gilgalad is a snarky asshole? Yep. I predicted all of this, but it was in jest. I was thinking how fucking stupid and I was trying to amp it up a little bit, for comedy effect. And I might have given him advice. I don't know. Mystery box of Who is Sauron 3000. Veldrain 1178 for $2. Thank you. And it's Halbrand. Earl Starbuck for $5. I got to go to bed because I got to work tomorrow, or later today, rather. God bless you. Gary for protecting Tolkien's lore and legacy. Hail Friday Night Tights. You You are protecting it. I am just a guy. I am just a moron with a microphone, and I am lucky as hell to have this channel and surrounded by my fellow audience members for who I am an equal. I am not above, not below. We all love nerddom, and we all would just like to have fun again, right? So I am very grateful for you all. The fellowship is fucking awesome. Great people. And you have made my life better. So thank you. On to the next thing. Enoch Beaumont for $10. My favorite scene from Rings of Power was when Isildur was told he was wasting his life feeding baby dolphins, and he responded, "Wasting my life? I may not have been a captain, but I'm still serving a youthful purpose." Tolkien couldn't have written it better. That is true. Mali for $5. By the way, this is on the donation side. This is from the Nooner last week. The Nooner from this week, not quite done yet, but we're going to work on that. For $5, I discovered your channel while looking for someone who is disappointed in Rings of Power, and I and I have stayed for absolutely every piece of content you and the others have made. It's been good. I mean, I'm speaking of the others' content. I mean, you judge my content. I mean, I think it's all good, but yes, not everybody thinks that because I have great editors and help. But the other guys have been doing a great job, and it's so much entertainment, and that's the best part of this is like, oh, I get video, especially when I'm done with a review and I can watch everybody else's review, and I'm like, oh, I can watch people's videos. Thank you for your commitment and hard work. As the song says, I'm on vacation because every single day I love my occupation. I really appreciate and enjoy it. I'll never do that again, I promise. Concept Center for 10 Chilean pesos. Love your content. You've got a fan from the tiny country of Liechtenstein. Much love and best regards. It's Liechtenstein pesos. Now I know that CHF is Liechtenstein. I just assume. Corwin's Pattern Ghost for $5. Andor lost me when I saw the trailer with the guy carrying a Polish underfolder AKs, which shows the props department doesn't even bother. Yeah, I don't hear a lot of people talking about the show anymore, so I think it might be something that could possibly at the very best be average. Do not give any fucks about that show. John BBBB for $5. Hi, I just started watching recently due to the Rings of Power. Love the content. Were you being sarcastic about gaming getting woke earlier? Gamergate was 2014. No, I was not being sarcastic at all. I watched all of Gamergate go down, and quite frankly, I didn't understand it at first. So it started out as, the Access Media, Five Guys, Zoe Quinn, but it turned into games were going woke and gamers weren't having it. And then Anita Sarkeesian came in and was empowered by a lot of people making videos about her. They should, but I think that was a precursor to now, right? So it's all an evolution. And the left loves to blame everything on, but it was the beginning. It was the beginning. Were there bad actors? Sure, there's bad actors in everything. There's bad actors because we're dealing with individuals, so grifters come in, they don't. And what I mean by grifters, somebody who's not really about the cause. They are faking it, and many have admitted it. Many have been bold enough to admit it. And then they turn around and try to call other grifters. That's called projection, because some of us are about the cause. Can't speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself. I am all about the cause. I could just ignore this shit and review TV and movies. And I think part of it is I don't, and many of you don't either. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be invited to any screenings ever. I don't want to be in cahoots with Hollywood. I don't need to be buddy. I am, but it's the brave souls in Hollywood that don't mind talking to me. And it's just this weird place. As a lifelong fan of comic books, of DC, I was banned from the Warner Brothers fucking studio. You know how much money I've given Warner Brothers over the years? how much support? You know how much shit I sold for them over 10 years? But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how it's gotten. But now, all these years later, we're winning. And it was about staying committed in the fight. And what was a lesson we learned from Gamergate? What was a lesson we learned from Gamergate, aside from the people who weren't about the cause? It's a long battle, and some of them still survive. And the ones that are still around are the true ones. Not many of them, but there's some good ones out there. Rogue for $2. I heard Frosk got the boot from G4's corpse. Yes, she did. She is gone. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. You would hope that she would learn a lesson, learn some humility. I doubt it. I think she was handed way too much, way too early, based on her identity and not her talent, because I got to go off of what my son said. My son is a huge League of Legends guy, and he said she used to know her shit, but then she got into all the social justice stuff. She just sounds like she can't handle the internet and needs a lot of fucking therapy. Maybe there's drugs involved. I don't know. Usually when I see behavior like that, I think there's either a neurosis, bipolar, or which are very serious things that need to be treated, or drugs. I just think everybody's on drugs, though. So, I mean, to be fair, Little Dutch for €10. Has someone who can be politically labeled as a leftist. I hate how my side laps up all these low-quality woke series and movies. It's so frustrating. Hail, and thank you all for the work you do. And thank you, and thanks for calling it out. The hardest thing to do is to call out your own side. It's the hardest thing to do. It is. So thank you, Little Dutch. Hopefully we can all enjoy content. I mean, the whole thing about the sides, ideally, would be that we work our way towards compromise and move forward that way. We're a long way from that right now. No, I don't think we're going to have a civil war. We are an affluent society. Even in the hardest times, we're an affluent society, okay? Homeless people have iPhones. Matthew Stiles for $10. I mean, I've barely been paying attention, but how does anyone know about a few orcs enough to be like, let's go to war? Exactly. Even the name Eleanor was wrong. The flowers bought by the elves to To Aresia to Numenor was the second age and was found in the third age, were found in the third age of Lothlorien. Yeah, they're just fucking with it. I mean, they said they were going to be playing fast and loose, and they were not kidding, Andrew. Matthew Stiles for $10. Guy Ladriel out looking for Sauron. Seemed like it was a lost cause, off to retirement, jumps off a boat, gets picked up, and now is suddenly recruiting for war with who? A few orcs? Great point. Shai LaDouche. For £5 confirmed. TV reboot of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in the works. When will it stop? Yeah, and they race swapped one of the guys. Waffle. Knowing what I know of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, I don't think one of them would have hung out with the other if they race swap them. Just saying. Elves have been more control over their body and mind. That's where they increased strength comes from, and not because of elves are Superman 24/7. Yeah, they're not Supermen, they're elves. They're a completely different race. They are wiser, smarter, faster, stronger, everything. But they are stronger. Think of them like Vulcans. Shows should be escapism, not real world lectures. Bilbo T. Baggins for £2 Jalouk for $5. I mean, Vulcans, I got to go back. Vulcans, just in comparison to man. Gavin Newsom's in-laws donated to Ron DeSantis. That should tell you what people think of that guy. He's a fucking douchebag. Okay. He slept with his best friend's wife, His best friend was his campaign manager. His wife worked for him. Now, that happens all the time in politics, but that tells you a guy's fucking character. That does it. You don't hear about that shit with Ron DeSantis, a veteran. You know, like DeSantis, we can't forget he was a rhino until 2018. Now, men can change, and that's good, and I hope he does. I think he should wait. I think that would be the smart thing to do, because I think in about 6 years, he'll roll into the White House and maybe we'll have a little stability. We're still picking up the pieces from fucking Obama. Okay. What a massive disappointment that guy must have been to a lot of people. Guy Ladriel, the unfudged, she will not quit or nor sit, says not applicable for $2. Waffle for 30 shekels. Thank you. Elves are not superhuman. Tolkien implies that the men on average are stronger than elves, but elves have stronger spirit, soul, so they are capable of greater feats of strength. To me, that's superhuman. But they're not human. See, that's the thing. They're elves, so they're completely different. Taller, wiser, more beautiful, live forever if you don't, stick a sword through their heart or anything, or chop their head, that is otherworldly, we'll say. Otherworldly. But there's varying strengths in the race of men. The men have diminished, remember. Even the Numenorians are a diminished version of like the proto-humans. But Numenorians, yeah, they can take on elves, absolutely. Numenorians they were one of the greatest armies ever. Sauron had to fucking surrender to even the bad ones. He bowed because he later, corrupted them, but it's because he didn't think he could win in battle. He thought he was going to get his ass kicked, so he was smart. I'm going to paraphrase what Balon, it's Balin. Apparently, I've been calling him Balon Greyjoy forever, but according to George, it's Balin. Balin Greyjoy said, the man who kneels will be able to pick up the sword later. IB Doey for $4.99. In addition to the woke mind virus, the other issues with Hollywood is the content era, the streaming era, quantity over quality, never smart. Nope, it's not. You're right. Not applicable for $2. She's not even a C. You can't even put a D in a C. Not her. Does Funny DX for $10. Hey, Gary, couldn't help but notice Darkside Phil still hasn't signed on to FNT. Also, what would you think of having Medicare on? I'd have Medicare on. I think Medicare probably thinks I'm dumb, but I'm fine with that. That would be very in line with Medicare. I love Medicare. Medicare is an international treasure of the internet. I would absolutely have him on if he wanted to come on. And I hope he's feeling better. I truly feel bad for the guy, knowing what my dad went through with what he has. But Medicare's good. I just don't know if he does that kind of thing, right? I don't know. Graybeard for $9.99. What is the next step in the entertainment industry? Legion, Angel Studios, and Daily Wire, where they find privately or via crowdfunding. Something else. Rings of Power is only good as a sleeping pill. You're right. It fragments. The entertainment's going to fragment. So there won't be a centralized source, and you won't have a centralized Hollywood. And I think overall that is great. Decentralize. My man Eric July preaches this all the time, and this is why I love the guy. Decentralize everything. Federal government too. Roland New for $1.99. Buy your son an ice cream on me. He deserves it. Well, we have some ice cream downstairs, so I will put it towards that. Fringe was one of the mystery box shows that worked for me, because the reveal at the end of each season answered questions but made more interesting content to follow up. Yeah, I would say out of all of them, Fringe was probably my favorite. I still think it was a massive ripoff of a lot of Art Bell stuff and X-Files, and I thought X-Files always handled the paranormal a little better because it just felt like Chris Carter believes in that shit and took it seriously. Blank Frankie for $2 Australian. I even like the first X-Files movie. I love it. Thank you, Blank Frankie, for $2 Australian. DJ Sickrick for $5. No one ever talks about this, but the She-Hulk from The Last of Us did digital blackface for Uncharted 4. What? What? I don't even know what you're saying there. Roland New for $1.99. Hail, Gary, Chris, and X-Ray. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. Chris Distel for $10. Thank you for the donation. Jason Stahl for $9.99. I am a huge Tolkien fan, and the smart thing is to scrap it, fire reboot drones, then rewrite everything, then hire people who actually care and are fans of Tolkien and the Legendarium. I agree with that assessment. Craig Rode Jr. for $5. These people greenlit Blade Runner 2099 with Ridley Scott. Tough to woke that world, but they will. They will. Vali for $5. I like the scene in The Rings of Power where Galadriel is riding her horse and a hooded man steps out in front of her. P.S. Galadriel is married to Matt. Yes, I'd be fine with that scene. Mega Reacts for $10. Lifelong D&D player and dungeon master here. How can I get it on Geeks and Gamers D&D game? How can I get on at Geeks and Gamers? My YouTube channel has around 13,000 subs, and I would love to get in on the game. I would say contact Krista or My Nerdy Home, okay? Or even reach out to X-Ray Girl. One of those three brilliant young ladies can get to Jeremy to direct you to the because I'm sure he'd like at least give you a look. Mega Reacts. He'd at least give you a look. He's looking to build that channel, and I am all for it. So please try to contact via Twitter. Krista Nova, Steph, My Nerdy Home, or even X-Ray Girl. One of those three should be able to do it. Human Kirk for €5. The problem with Picard Season 3 being maybe good isn't that it's too little too late. It's that I will have to recognize Jar Jar Trek's existence. F that. Fuck that. Yeah, Human Kirk, I'm with you. I honestly, like, too little too late. Fuck off. That's where I'm at. Big Raj, thank you for the $1.99. Love you, man. Piot Hifik for 25 somethings. Hey, great. I'm a fan. Did you notice the scenes from season 1 of Daredevil are still from Fight Club and Old Boy? Yeah, they're taken from, well, it wasn't just Fight Club and Old Boy. It was the something like the Raid too. Didn't they borrow from the Raid? I know Dread borrowed from the Raid. I'm okay with that. They're fucking good. Mitch Thibodeau for 5 Canadian pesos. Aliens speaking English, druids copied, inspired from the black hole, also speaking English, and using a knife to keep sharp. That show sucks. Yep. And the black hole, by the way, the Disney movie, loved it. White Knight Leo for $2. The interactive nature of games fight woke themes. Yes. Dragon Slayer. Commentaries for $5. When are Disney going to swallow their pride and give us Old Republic stuff? I don't think they can do it justice, though. They can't. But right when they approach the Rings of Power, I did a video 3 years ago just explaining they can't adapt Tolkien properly. Now, yes, they can, but the world they have created, the rules Hollywood has created, they are incapable of adapting anything traditional. How do I feel about a Gavin Newsom presidential bid? Oh, that's fucking funny. He would get slaughtered. He got recalled in his own state. The only reason it passed was mail-in ballots. Then he made mail-in ballots the law of the land, but they are not the law of every land here in this great country of ours. And he would get trounced. And all we have to do is use their rules against him. What's the Democratic Party doing? Serving up another white male? What the hell? That's not very progressive. The Last Badger for $4.99. Thank you for the donation. Tater Boob for $9.99. Anyone who thinks that the gaming industry isn't woke isn't paying attention. Just watch last year's E3 Take-Two conferences to see how deep the rot gets. It's what Gamergate was all about in 2014. Yeah, nobody was ever saying that gaming has not gone woke. It certainly has. I think that's one of the biggest. I mean, like, didn't Grand Theft Auto go woke? I mean, that's a fucking joke. And that rhymed. Jens Anderson of the Tiari for 50 Swedish krona. I used to pirate everything, and I'm slowly going back to my ways. D Plus is gone. Netflix is hanging loose, and I will keep HBO for a while. You earn my money. Jens, I feel honored to earn your hard-earned money. That is a privilege I will never be able to thank you enough for. STE for £2 and that goes for everybody, by the way. Just wondered what your opinions on the Orville season 3. Little darker, couple of very, very woke episodes. Overall, thought it was pretty good, but not as good as season 2. Season 2 is great. That's my overall thoughts. Some woke ass episodes, but they did take a huge shot at Star Trek Discovery in it, which I thought was hilarious. Derek, choice for $10. TV and movies are not entertaining. It's programming, and it's always been in it. If you just were not awake enough. TV and movies are not entertainment. It's programming, and it has always been, and you just were not awake enough in order to see it. I disagree with that. I think some art is just simply art. Where I will agree with you is in procedural television. There was a lot of programming, and that's why I hated it. That's where the woke shit started, was in the procedural television. Then it started getting into the higher forms. I think, Hollywood's always been like, they'll always make the Democrats the good guys and the Republicans the bad guys. That's always what they've done. But that was in like political thrillers and stuff. I didn't watch that very much. When it came to sci-fi, when it came to fantasy, sure, Tolkien hated it, but there was allegory in Star Trek, and I understood it. But it's very simple allegory. It's like racism is bad. Yeah, okay, like racism is bad. Everybody agrees that racism is bad. There's nothing nobody likes there's no fans of genocide and racism, okay? Big difference is they are now treating their audience, half of their audience, that they don't need them anymore because they think they are pro-genocide and racism. They think they're Nazis. Now, maybe they quietly thought that all the time. I'm sure some psychopaths did, but I know for a fact most didn't. But they do now. They do now. They have pushed such a narrative. Through corporatism, we have more news networks now than ever. We have more local news networks now than ever. We have more access to information now than ever. And that gives the, they like to use the word pipeline. Well, they pipeline their propaganda to us all the time. Remember, they're projecting on us what they are fucking doing all the time. There are people who unironically say that my channel is a pipeline to the mythical alt-right. Show me where there's an alt-right. I couldn't find an alt-right if I wanted to. I don't know anybody alt-right. I've never sought out alt-right. I don't know what the fuck it even means. I know that it means Nazi to some. It does. Well, I'd be a pretty shitty Nazi. They wouldn't like me very much. They wouldn't like my family very much. And I'm guessing all of you are the same. You're just regular folk who just want to enjoy shit. And we're winning. We're winning. I think the recent abortion cheerleading by some game companies has done real damage. It's certainly affected how I spend my money. Yeah. I have my opinions on that issue. I do. I'm adopted, so I'm not very pro-abortion, but I'm also not a woman, obviously, and never will, never can be one. So I would say I love on Twitter when they say, okay, fine, if we're gonna make abortion illegal, then the man has to take responsibility. Those terms are very acceptable. Dudes got to step up. Dudes are half the problem. with the abortion issue. They the ones that take off don't take care of the kid. They absolutely need to step up. And there's nothing to run from with kids, by the way. Not for everybody, but there's things. I believe in states' rights, and I believe that's where things need to be handled. Period. However it turns out. I hope we get to a place where, if it does happen, it's emergencies and rare. Emergencies, the way it was supposed to be, right? I don't know. I don't think it's going out on a limb by saying, like, life kind of matters, you know? Bass Player 2011 Iffy for $4.99. The stream is brought to you by the Guild of Millers. The Guild of Millers uses only the finest grain. True Roman bread for true Romans. The Guild of Millers. On Twitter, I saw an ad for Andor. By the way, that's from Bass Player 2011 Iffy. Thank you. I saw on Twitter an ad for Andor. If it's true, they put lightsabers on starships. Why do they hate canon? They don't care. It's not hate. It's pure apathy. Did Clerks 3 address the Masters of the Universe drama? It did not, according to Chris Gore. Bethany for $2. I will not see Clerks. I hated Clerks 2. I thought it sucked. I'm not going to go see Clerks 3, even if I like Kevin Smith. The C told me Rings of Power is garbage. RB for $9.99. C is always right. Joey Fouts, are you related to Dan Fouts in any way? My favorite all-time quarterback for $5. Every Nerd of the Rings video was about Rings of Power is ratioed to hell. I'm sad to see him still shilling for Amazon. Yeah, I wish people, you know what? It's okay to say you're wrong. I was wrong so far about House of the Dragon. I don't think I was down on the Snyder Cut, but I had low expectations for it, and I ended up really enjoying it. So I was kind of wrong about that. Dallas Allen for $4.99. Hail Nerdrotic and his nooner. No better way to keep the mind busy on a Wednesday. Hump day. Keep up the good work. Much love to you all. We can win this fight. We are winning this fight. And thank you, Dallas. And that wraps it up for the last nooner. X-Ray Girl is still working on some more, so we will do another one over the weekend. Hope you enjoyed this one. So we're all caught up on Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, and a nooner. I know I did a nooner today, but that one's got to get collated. So I'm thinking Sunday, but I have to get a member stream in. I got to get a member stream. Got to do one of those a month minimum. So I'm thinking Sunday I'm going to be busy. Because, or maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Keep an eye on the community section. We're going to do a member stream soon and then follow it up with another square. So again, thank you everyone who left super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Thanks to my Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who enjoys the show. Thanks for all the support. Hail to the fellowship and and the legion of members that X-Ray Girl named over the weekend. Love you guys. Take care.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
dame, dame.